Streaming to YouTube. Hey, okay, excellent. And let us record. Excellent. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IPFS weekly meeting, where we get to see all the cool stuff that's being built in the IPFS community. Today's guest is Kevin Wong, and Kevin Wong is the organizer of the Shenzhen and Hong Kong Proto School chapters, if I'm not mistaken, and he attends every community meeting. So he's very active in IPFS, and he's going to talk a bit about what he's observed in his meetups, in the Proto School meetups, and we're really happy to see Kevin. So let's clap for Kevin, or thumbs up. And why don't we begin? One moment. And while Kevin is setting up, if everyone who's attending could put their name in the IPFS weekly call agenda, that would be great. So I put it in the chat, and if can everyone just put their name in, that'll be wonderful. Okay. So are you ready to begin now, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome, excellent.
So I'll just share my screen first.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'll just begin. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. So today I'm going to talk about the IPFS Hong Kong community. Actually, I live in Hong Kong, so I organized the IPFS community here. And I just do a little bit introduction on myself. My name is Kevin, and I'm a BMath graduate from the University of Waterloo, Canada. And I'm currently working at a blockchain community named Big Work. I'm a community manager there. And I also organize IPFS Hong Kong community here. And as well as the Proto School Hong Kong and Shenzhen chapters. And let me talk about a little bit about Big Work. We are actually a blockchain community based company here, which enable all the blockchain companies in the community to leverage their unknown market value while also providing the individuals with access to blockchain technology or experience opportunities to help all parties in the block. We also give back to the community to build an ecosystem of the mutual help. And as a Big Work, a building community here in Hong Kong, we also provide the solutions and also services to the traditional companies and let them to have some transition to any blockchain opportunities. This is a little bit more about Big Work. We also hold a lot of blockchain events here. We did some hackathons with the Binance, and we have a lot of communities here who are all related to the blockchain communities. And they all join our space here, and then they hold events here, and then we cooperate to work together. And we also provide some blockchain courses, like some kind of certificate courses in blockchain education here. And people come and then join the course, and then they get a certificate by Big Work and also the government as well. So that's all about the company that I work for. And now I'm going to talk about the Hong Kong IPFS community. We actually started our community in early 2018. And then we have around 100 plus members here. And then we do host regular meetups and then events here to provide the members the latest news of the IPFS, and then as well as the education and promotion. We are working on the education and promotion together with the Poto School. We did some of the translation for the IPFS official as well, and I think some of the video as well. And last year, we around October, we had our first Hong Kong IPFS meetup, and we actually invited a guest from Beijing, China, whose name is Tian Yidong. I think he's the one of the earliest developer who bring the IPFS topic into China, like a year and a half. So he is like the expert of IPFS in China. So we invited him to come to Hong Kong and then give the members of the communities a very detailed and technical heads up about IPFS and Falcon. And then I think the feedback was really good, and he's drawing a lot of attention and interest from the community. And after the first meetup, we actually attend the Web3 Summit in Berlin last year, October, and we actually attend a lot of the talks and then workshops there to, I mean, like explore more and then to give more information to our communities here in Hong Kong. We also had, you see, we had the talk from Joanne Bennett, and then he was telling us what is the Web3 combination of Web3, and then we actually bring all of this information back to the communities. And just around a week ago, and we had a second Hong Kong IPFS meetup, and I think that was quite informative from that meetup because Falcon just had a big update, and then the dev lab have been just open to the public. So we had a lot of updates to the communities about latest IPFS update, and also about the Falcon's latest update and movement. And that's the first part of the IPFS meetup. And then the second part, we actually invited few of the mining machines manufacturers from China. And then you may notice there are quite a number of mining machine manufacturers in China. They are all focusing on like mining Falcon, designing the mining machines for Falcon. So I think the reason why we invited them to come to the meetup is that we want to let everyone know that the ecosystem, the mining machines in the ecosystem is very important. And then we actually wanted them to tell us why they invested so much time and money into the developing of the mining machines. So that's why. And then we actually have the wine table discussion by them. And then that was a really successful. And the last part, we actually introduced a Poto School Hong Kong chapters to the members, and we didn't really try out the chapters, but we actually bring out the message from Poto School, just how we want to promote IPFS and also Falcon to the public. So just to let everyone know the education is actually very important to gather more people to get more attention. So this is actually one of our models that we are promoting to the community members. So as a Hong Kong IPFS community, I think we are quite different from those communities in China. I think most of the communities in China, IPFS communities in China, they focus on Falcon and also the mining machines. But then for us, I think the whole ecosystem is also more important than just the mining machines. So we decided to promote with this model. It's like they are all equally important. So we are telling people that storage providers, the miners, very important in the ecosystem, as well as the developers, also the end users and the corporate users. So I think with all these three parties in the ecosystem working together, then the whole project will be successful. So what we are currently working on, Polo School, Hong Kong and the Shenzhen chapter. Why we get the Shenzhen chapter? Because Hong Kong IPFS community, we also have around 30 to 40% of the members. They are coming from Shenzhen. We are only like 20 minutes from the border. That's why I think Hong Kong and Shenzhen can work together for the Polo School chapters. So we actually first introduced the Polo School to the Hong Kong IPFS community first, and then now we cooperate with the Big Work to host more events in the future. We have the great support from the Big Work. And in China, we have another co-working space called VPUS to support us for the event later on. And what I'm now currently working on is trying to produce some teaching material about IPFS and distributed storage solution in the form of video, audio to the public or to the blockchain media platform. And as well as I'm cooperating with the professor and lecturers from the university and college in Hong Kong and Shenzhen to hold some lectures to promote IPFS and also the distributed storage solution as well. So talking about the university and college, I actually set up a workshop in the school in the coming weeks. Next Saturday, we will host a IPFS workshop in the coming week with one of the Hong Kong university. So this is like workshop 101. So the target student, they may not be some programmer or a very experienced developer. They are like they are all interested in IPFS, and then that's why we decided to host a workshop for them, and then cooperate with the professor and lecturers. I think with this workshop, working with the university, if we get more feedback, positive feedback, we will work on more universities and then organize more seminars to promote Polo School and IPFS in the school, and also to the public as well. And those are all from the Hong Kong community side, but we are collecting with the China community as well. We actually attend a lot of the IPFS China communities meetup or events in China as well. I think over the year, they had already organized over 100 events or meetup all over the China. They did all the promotion, education, translation all over China. And then they are very, very active doing all this stuff. And with the talking about the Falcon DevLab just open to the public. And I know some of the community members, they are working on the mining machines. They are getting very actively participate in the DevLab development. They also, I think like you can see a lot of the nodes, the Falcon active nodes from China, some of the regions of the China. And then I think they have a lot of machines, servers, they're ready, getting ready for the large scale testnet in the Q2 as well. So talking about contribution, I have to mention this gentleman whose name is Daijano. He's from Beijing, China. I think he is a very experienced developer in Beijing, China, and then he has been studying, working on the IPFS, libp2p, a lot of the code for more than a year. And then he, after the Falcon published the DevLab on February 14th, he was the only one to did all the translation from the GitHub, and then he actually create the DevNet practical tutorial for all Chinese developers. Up to now, he had wrote around 4 chapters here. You can see. So those are all very detailed, and for all the Chinese developers, they can all set up their Falcon node and learn everything from the from his tutorial. And he has written his own practical tutorials about the DevLab for the Chinese developer, and published them on most of the Chinese mainstream media, and over 10,000 people have been looking for his page as well. And then he really hoped that he can help more newcomers to start to join the Falcon developing project. And he also assists with the teaching materials and experience for the Proto School as well. So I've been in touch with him, and also the organizer from the Proto School Shanghai. So we are looking at to develop some more materials that we can actually promote IPFS to the public. So let's see if we can work on together, like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, all together to just make things look better. And this is, I think the Proto School Shanghai, they just hold the first meetup on the 26th February, and then there was hosted by 2 parties, and then they will host another event I think in March, very soon as well. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much from me. And then those are some questions and projects, the concerns from the community. They may think they have some questions. They ask if the Falcon project on time, and then there are scams all over the country. So there are some concerns from them. And then actually they want to know that if we can have like more interaction from the team, and then like anytime soon the team are planning a visit to the Asia as well. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. That was a great, and that was an enlightening presentation. Do we have any questions or comments? You could put them in the group chat. I have a question. Can you tell me in the IPFS meetups, can you tell me what aspect are people the most curious about when it comes to IPFS? Like, what do they want to learn more about?
To be honest, they all come for Falcon. But actually, I think apart from Falcon, they are very curious about how IPFS can change the world and how IPFS can like replace HTTP in any possible ways. Like how can IPFS can change the current storage solutions trend.
That's great. Are there any particular projects that you know on the top of your head where people are using IPFS to come up with storage solutions?
Yes. Actually, like currently I'm working with the school, the universities, right? And I'll share my screen if you don't mind.
Please do.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yep. So maybe this is on all from all Chinese. This is called Mactors. I just heard this from the school. They don't have English here, but then they are actually a platform for people that they discuss, a space for people that they discuss, and then they are a group of students. They are working on all the news, and they want a place to discuss their solutions and chit chat. And I was actually surprised that they actually put this on IPFS. They know all the information of IPFS because those students, they are from the translating faculty. They are studying news reporter. They want to be news reporter. So they know that news is very important to keep it permanent, because like news can be deleted sometimes if you store it on a normal server, or in some country it may happen to like blocked by the government as well. So I think those students, they are very smart. Like they know IPFS is one of the solutions for them. Yeah, I think this is a really, really interesting project. Like, because this is the students who actually started this project, which I am currently working on with the workshop.
Excellent, thank you. I think you already answered this question, but I'll ask it again. This is from Matt. Is the interest in your region primarily driven by Filecoin, or are people interested in IPFS itself? And I guess your region would be Hong Kong and Shenzhen.
Yes, Hong Kong. I think like in China, let's say in China, I think most of the interests are from Filecoin, are for Filecoin. But then they know that Filecoin have to work with IPFS. So that's why there still are quite a lot of interest from IPFS as well. So they are like sticking together, like in China. But in Hong Kong, I think not as much as people know about Falcon. So now I'm the only one talking and promoting IPFS here in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Matt, for the question.
You're welcome.
And Molly's question is, she's curious about Hong Kong's interest in IPFS Filecoin compared to interest in other storage protocol crypto tokens. Are there some notable differences in how and why the community is interested?
Yep.
So I guess this is comparing Hong Kong's interest with other coins and other distributed protocols.
Yeah, I think yeah, because there are not much interest about other distributed protocols in Hong Kong actually. I think the other one could draw some attention is Chon.
Right.
Yeah, because Chon is working with the BitTorrent, and then they have like big news, like, and then but I don't see there are a lot of interests from the communities, but and then yeah, and then I think IPFS like from my view and from my what I saw, it has a lot more interest than other projects in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And this is from Dan, and how is the so-called Great Wall Firewall of China working with IPFS as a distributed global network? Is there or any expectations that IPFS will be blocked, nodes or miners?
Wow, that's a good question from Dan. Actually, for Hong Kong, there's no great firewall. The firewall is for China only. So no matter what happened in China, I think IPFS and Filecom will work perfectly in Hong Kong. So, but then that's a good question from Dan. A lot of people in China, they're worrying about the great firewall in China. And from now, what we already know that the computers or the servers, if you use, they cannot. If you put it at home, you cannot do any mining. Cannot collect to the IPFS, and then cannot mine any Filecon at home at their household. So that's why in China they have to use some kinds of they have to put it in the CDN, IDC, the professional company with their very expensive setup. So China, a lot of people still worrying about this, if they can do all the nodes and then miners in China. So it will be quite a big problem. So I will be happy to know as well if Protocol Labs have any like plans or set up for like specific for China's firewall. Yeah.
Interesting. The next question is, you mentioned about scams.
Yes.
So how do groups, IPFS, Proto School, or groups dealing with Filecoin, those technologies, how do they spot scams and how do they prevent scams?
Yes. For us, because like we are the only one here talking about IPFS, so we are the only community here.
Yes.
And actually, like scams is people that, I think there's only one scam, like one type of scam. It's like people selling mining machines and then telling them you can mine Filecoin now. So this is really nonsense. Like, yeah. So there is times that news are already reporting people got scammed and then got cheated by a lot of for a lot of money as well. So there's actually news on the newspaper. So I think with the news reporter and we already know who is doing the right thing or who is doing the wrong thing. Yeah.
How do you think these scams can be mitigated in the future?
Yeah, this
like how
yeah. I think, to be honest, the team Protocol Labs have to be more active on like getting some partners or like working with the communities closer to like giving out the correct news, correct some formal channel to like all the Chinese people. So like I think Hong Kong, we had one scammer who cheated a lot of money, but in China, there are a lot more in China. So if protocol labs are more active on like working closely with the communities, then no one will dare to do the scam anymore. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that. So as a follow-up question, where are the best places that IPFS can find partners in Hong Kong and China? Like, where should we look for partners?
This have to be really, really careful, and you have to consider a lot. I think like in Hong Kong, who I currently work for is the biggest blockchain communities. So you can check all the backgrounds. If those you are in doubt, then I think those you are in doubt, then you have to ignore those potential partners. Then you have to check very, very carefully. Like because a lot of communities, they are related with the mining machine companies. So if they are related with the mining machine companies, so those can be, they have like benefit with each other. So it's very hard to get one. So you have to check all the backgrounds, like all the communities, like us, like I'm doing the Hong Kong communities. I'm one of the very few communities that not working with the mining machines company. So this is very hard to do this because without all the communities in China, they work for the mining machine companies. And then they get all the money support from them, so they can run the community longer and better. But for us, it's quite hard because I do all by myself, and then I luckily I have a company here, and then they give me support as well as a blockchain society. Yeah.
And one more question from Terry. You mentioned the firewall doesn't apply to Hong Kong, but what about the Great Firewall of China how does it apply to Taiwan?
Oh, Taiwan, there is no firewall as well. Yeah, they are. I think they are fairly open to internet and the blockchain as well. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Volker, for taking notes. And if anyone's in Paris, if they're part of the Ethereum community conference, I will be giving a presentation introducing IPFS during the Web3 meetup. I will put a link in the YouTube video and also in the notes. Other than that, thank you for coming, and I will see you next Monday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.